always keep doing this. As the title suggests, I'm very disappointed in Target, and I mean Target the company. I don't know about other countries. I'm pretty sure they have plenty of other stores across multiple countries, right? But Target is at least very well known in the United States, and I specifically, out of all the companies that have been rolling back DEI initiatives, am disappointed the most in Target, and let me explain why. So I grew up in North Dakota. I live in Minnesota, and Target is like a staple, at least around here. I know it is a lot of places in America. We were a Target family. If we went to either Target or Walmart growing up, we went to Target. Okay, we only went to Walmart in dire situations. But we loved Target because it was accessible, and they always seemed very inclusive. And the reason why I bring up me growing up in North Dakota and now living in Minnesota is because, for those of you who don't know, Target was founded and is currently still headquartered in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities area, Minneapolis. So Target is a big thing in Minnesota, especially the Twin Cities. Target as a company has done a lot in the Twin Cities, like been a part of a lot of local things. And a big thing that it's been a part of every year, pretty much, is Pride in the Park. Like the Pride, Minneapolis Twin Cities Pride event that they always have. There's always a big float of people like walking around, like Target employees that are walking at Pride Parade that happens every year in the summer in the Twin Cities. Now, you also may understand and remember that Target used to, probably won't be doing anymore, but used to have a Pride collection. And they used to have a lot of inclusivity in their clothing, and I believe their models too were pretty inclusive too, like by gender, by size, sexuality, all that. But in terms of the clothing, it's always been very inclusive, even the just different stuff that they offer. I imagine even in the food too, like having Pride themed food or something like that. But they have clothing specifically that people that are more right wing or people who are anti-LGBTQ plus have targeted in the past. So that's why it may not in the future be available. Like these kinds of clothing may not be available that are inclusive to LGBTQIA plus people. Now, that was already disappointing. But now knowing that since around, oh, by the way, I have a list of companies over here. All of these companies that have been rolling back their initiatives, their DEI initiatives, it's been since either 2024, 2025, 2024, most of them. It's been since Trump has been announced the next president after Biden, since he has won the election. Some people, it's been even earlier in 2024 since they've been rolling back these DEI initiatives. But yeah, just keep that in mind. But I forgot what I was gonna say. But for Target, that was especially last year where like conservative people or right-wing people in America specifically were targeting Target, you could say, and then they completely just wiped out their, I don't even know if it was the Pride collection. I know for sure it was for bathing suits that offered instructions for how to tuck or showed you how you could tuck using those garments. And now they've rolled that back. Apparently they aren't doing that, and I think for the Pride collection too, they aren't doing that anymore. I could be wrong on that. I know for sure I'm thinking about gender inclusive swimsuits and clothing, like outside of just the Pride collection, but we'll have to see. But now they are rolling back their DEI initiatives, and with that, I'm very disappointed. And with that, a lot of people are disappointed. And it's hard because not everybody can just say boycott Target or even boycott Walmart. Walmart's on the list too, I'll get there. Because these are places that, I have driven through, stayed in towns all across North Dakota, Minnesota, where they don't even have grocery stores. They don't even have like regular stores. All they have is either a Walmart or a Target, maybe both. So it's hard for people who live in these small towns who even have to go to other small towns that are bigger enough that have like a Walmart or a Target. So it's hard to say to boycott these places. But the people who are able to are saying that they want to and that they will start doing that. Which makes sense, right? Like, you're boycotting, you're protesting the rolling back of these DEI initiatives now. What are DEI initiatives? DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's meant to provide inclusion basically for people across all different walks of life, especially people who are part of marginalized communities, people who previously maybe didn't get opportunities. It's meant for basically anybody who's non-white, even women benefit from DEI initiatives, and people with disabilities. People always forget about people with disabilities, physical and mental, but they are definitely included in these. Even though they are forgotten in these discussions, they are still deeply affected by these rollbacks of these DEI initiatives and policies. So don't forget about people with disabilities, because they are affected by it too. Just because you aren't thinking about them, they are affected by these too now. So what does it mean now that companies are rolling back these initiatives? Well, it means that they do not have to hire based on DEI policies that people have in place. Sometimes there's a quota that people have that they have. There's a quota that some companies have where they try to make sure that they meet that quota in terms of having a certain number of people who are part of any minority group or who have been marginalized or are marginalized. So now with the rollback of these initiatives from these companies, they do not have to meet any target goals for making sure that they're inclusive in who they hire, and they can just hire whoever they want, which technically you couldn't have done that before, but now it's just with less emphasis on and less consideration of people from different backgrounds who have been marginalized, which is very disappointing. This has happened too in colleges. I don't remember if they weren't called, it wasn't called DEI, what was it called? Why can't I think of it right now? This is a topic when I was in high school that they were thinking about already, like maybe getting rid of in colleges. But just recently, I don't know if it's all colleges or just some colleges now. Was it illegal before? I don't remember. I should have looked this up. I wasn't thinking if I was going to talk about this, but was it illegal before to not allow or to not meet a certain quota for, like, I guess DEI type initiatives? It wasn't DEI because it's not like you're hiring students to go to your college. Oh, not affirmation. Affirmative action. Am I thinking of the right thing? Affirmative action. Anyway, colleges had to meet before a certain number of people who fit within these minority communities, if that makes sense. And even then, I think there have been colleges, maybe they're still in the process of that, of colleges being sued, especially the Ivy League colleges being sued because there are people like Donald Trump, politicians, and just everyday people who are saying that DEI initiatives are racist because they're being inclusive to minority groups and marginalized communities other than everybody. Anyway, let me list some of the companies that have rolled back or eradicated their DEI initiatives ever since Trump has been confirmed to be elected president. Or even just before that, earlier in 2024, there's one or two companies in here where that more so applies. But anyway, here's some that have rolled back their DEI initiatives, and that's Target, Walmart, Amazon, McDonald's, all Meta platforms. You've definitely heard of that and Facebook is already like the wild, wild west, but now it's just going to get even worse. Like, it's already a hateful place, now it's just going to get even worse. On Instagram, there's been a lot of people who have talked about not being on, they don't want to go on Instagram or Facebook anymore. A lot of people are deleting those platforms. I just want to say, I still have Facebook. One of the main reasons, actually the main reason I still have Facebook is because there's pictures that I've taken that it takes up too much of like my phone. And so I just upload them all on Facebook instead of just deleting all of them and not having any more pictures. So because I need more storage on my phone. So I just upload pictures to like private albums. So for that's the only reason. And then I wish people happy birthday. And then also for my Brittney's Holistic Healing page, I just like post stuff on there that I've posted on TikTok. But I spend very, 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 very little time, minuscule amount of time on Facebook. Instagram, I go on there because I get my politics from there. And also I post my holistic healing stuff on there. I've been seeing people who say like, don't be on Instagram as much and don't get your don't get political stuff from Instagram. Don't keep up with politics on Instagram. Don't keep up with any world events happening on Instagram. Now I'm gonna tell you this. The only way I get my news, because a lot of newspapers now, online newspapers, you have to pay to be able to like get a subscription, to pay to get access to information. So I've been watching Philip DeFranco for a long time, so I get my news from him. And also I get a lot of what's going on Instagram. And people say, well, just go to online newspapers and personal journalists, follow them on like Blue Sky or something. First of all, I'm not going to only get information from news articles because it can cost money. Also because a lot of them do not talk about the things that should be talked about. A great example is what's been going on overseas, right? In different places. And these things are not highlighted as much as they should. It's not, journalists aren't able to talk about certain issues as much as they would like. So that's why there's very great progressive accounts that I follow on Instagram that keep me up to date and informed way more than other newspapers or journalists would. Yeah, that's a big reason, honestly, why I keep Instagram. I don't post on my own Instagram very much. I post to my stories about things that are happening in the world because people should be up to date. So I don't like that people are like, just go to these online newspapers. They won't talk about things that I need to hear. And also some of y'all can afford it. I can't do that. So anyway, and then also other companies that have rolled back on these initiatives are Ford, Lowe's, Harley Davidson, John Deere, and Tractor Supply. There's a question mark I have next to Starbucks because it's like up in the air about what exactly they're going to do. I think they're kind of in limbo with what they're doing right now. They've been working on fixing their initiatives or like maybe getting rid of them as of last year. A lot of people are already boycotting them because of certain things happening overseas. And there are some companies, though, that have pushed back on what Trump has said, because Trump has also, there's some question marks around this from what I've seen about what exactly is going on, but YouTube might be rolling back their DEI initiatives. Take that for what you will. I still am not completely sure about that. Some companies that have pushed back on what Trump has been saying, because, okay, let me just say, the better companies in this situation that aren't wanting to roll back and they're saying they're not going to roll back their DEI initiatives are Apple, Costco, JP Morgan Chase, Microsoft, Disney. And was it Disney? That's one of those two that people are trying to boycott right now. But this is also in light of how Trump has asked companies to roll back on their DEI initiatives, claiming they are racist. And he's been talking about DEI initiatives too, in terms of certain other things that have been happening. Like, I don't know what I'm able to say, like crashes that have been happening. He's been talking about how it's because of DEI hires. He has rolled back, he has banned DEI initiatives in the U.S. military. So now, and he's also wanting to get trans people taken out of the military altogether, and or for them to be assigned their sex at birth if they were to be in the military still. They're just trying to get rid of that in general. I don't remember if that's one of the executive orders or if it's just something Trump has said. He's had many executive orders. He wants for Trump people, oh my god, no way. He wants for trans people to, if they have like on their driver's license or passports or anything, any legal documentation or certification, if it says their gender and if it's not in alignment with the sex they were assigned at birth, he wants those reversed, which involves DEI because trans people would be a part of DEI policies for hiring and stuff. Anyway, or being in the military. So, but yeah, Trump has stated that companies should roll back on these initiatives. Which is why certain companies like Costco and Microsoft and such have said that they don't plan on and they won't. Some of them have said that, like, basically bring it on. Like, if you're going to try and sue us, we're not going to do that. Yeah. So going from Target being super, or at least a lot more inclusive than other companies, it's very disappointing that now they have decided, it's like Target has become a lot more right-leaning in its policies, even before Trump, but especially just the past few years, they've been continuously getting worse and worse. It's very disappointing. I used to be really proud about being in Minnesota where Target is and like seeing Target do all these great things, but now if they do anything that is supposed to help any minority communities or uplift minority communities in the future, I just won't trust it based off of this. Of course, there's people who work at Target, like the employees, who don't agree with this, I would imagine. But because of what the people higher up are deciding to do moving forward, and what they have been doing the past few years, it's very disappointing. And I don't really shop at Target anyway. The only reason I shop at Target is to get I go there to get my razors for shaving. Other than that, there's been like other random occurrences where I've gotten stuff there. I think we get our like shampoo. No, I don't even get my shampoo there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just for my razors. I have sensitive skin, so there's like certain ones there that might be at Walmart, but Walmart is triggering. And now Walmart's on this list too, so yeah. And then if I want to get it online, then I'd probably have to go to Amazon, and that's on the list too. So it sucks. I understand that people want to boycott these places. It's understandable, and if you can, please do that. But I don't think we should completely attack people who don't or who can't. We should instead look at the companies themselves and place more responsibility on these companies to be able to stop doing these things that are not good, taking action that is the opposite of progressive. So again, don't specifically try to attack people in your surroundings. People are doing the best they can. And again, I think about the people who live in small towns who don't have access to a lot of different places to get things, even groceries. So just think about trying to sign petitions, and if you yourself want to boycott, you can, like these places, if you don't believe in what they're standing for, by rolling back their initiatives. Even though I do use Instagram, I'll try to go on there a lot less, even though I'm not really on there a lot anyway. Yeah, Amazon too. It's always good to shop local if you can too, although there are local places around where I live that are very not inclusive, but also there's ones in my community that are very inclusive. So try to go to places that are inclusive, that are unashamed to be inclusive, that have the pride stickers and such, have the BLM posters up in their windows. Like, if you're able to do that, that's great. But just do the best you can. Remember to think about trying to sign petitions if you can. I've been signing petitions for these places like Target. I signed a couple, I think, aimed at telling them that we're disappointed in them for rolling back these measures and that they shouldn't, but they've already been doing that. But I'll leave it at that. Remember to stay informed, everybody. It's good to stay informed and to do your own research. Don't just take my word for things. Look up things yourselves. But I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.